you tend to build a team starting from the first day the guys get in the fall, right? And you start building that identity and that trust within each other. And we had a different lineup. We had a different couple, the makeup of the team was different. So once that happened, we had to reassess, and we really started becoming a team January 29th. And that was it. And so it was a rocky road generally, and that's what you use the fall for. But we had to work and compress a lot of that developmental team, kind of the team aspect of things in a very short amount of time, and we was rocky. We had a real bad loss that kind of early on in the year for the standard of what these guys have been putting out there. That kind of catalyzed, it was the whole movement towards becoming a tougher team, which these guys absolutely did. So it's been a real fun season. I think these guys have really achieved a lot considering with what we're putting out there on the court right now as far as the depth chart. And for all our guys to stay healthy, our trainer gets a lot of that credit. These guys have been really diligent with what they've been doing off the court. And overall, it's just been a real satisfying season.
How have you seen the top of the lineup guys, Gabriel and Paul, step up? They had to move up a spot when you had that, and it looks like they responded really well with the way they've played this year.
Opportunity, and that's sports, right? So when somebody gets injured, somebody's got to step up, and that's where stars or major growth is born, And so Paul, being a young guy, grabbed the bull by the horns and really went after it. He's really done a phenomenal job. Gabe's played there the last two years of his career and been very successful in that moment. So it was very much a solid feeling for him to go back into that role, lead the team. He did a great job early on while Paul was growing and adapting to the 2 spot, playing a much higher level competition than he was probably used to. And then Paul actually went there and relieved Gabe of those duties in the last couple matches here. And so he's ready to explode, and Gabe's playing top-end tennis right now too. But both those guys, when you have your top guys performing well and really carrying that flag for you, then everybody else can kind of get confidence and really jump on board.
Tennis is such a mental game. How mentally fresh is this team at this point in the season and after exams and everything?
That's going to be tough to say. It's I think it's about as fresh as everybody else. But if you look at where the history of this program, we get better in the second half of the SEC season and move forward into postseason. These guys have a lot of grit. They got a lot of grind in them, and that's what we preach. And so we've had one of the best weeks of practice that I've had in the 8 years I've been here. This past week. Today was a good start to the week. They're a little bit tired after what we did last week. Now we're going to rest them and start tightening the bolts here and get ready, primed up for Saturday.
Coach, what do you think is going to be key for this team this weekend, just as far as getting off to a good start and kind of rolling the momentum from practice into this opening round?
Yeah, belief in the fundamentals that they're going to be there. They're going to be there, one, and that two, they're going to sustain the path to the win, to the win. And that's the thing. That's the toughest part about tennis is you can put all the work in you want, but until you believe that that's what you're going to bring to the table day in, day out, and those are your controllables, and that's what we're trying to beat into them this week and last week. At that point, these guys will show up, and they will come to that table, and they will be able to perform on that first day. And after that, it's all about belief. Is my regular stuff good enough to win? And that's what we're trying to do here. So only time will tell, and only on match day will we know.
How is Harrison he's dealt with an injury all year? Where is he at this point in the season?
Best tennis I've seen. Yeah, so he came out last week, was a big time week for him. It was more of a mentality. Physically, initially throughout the year, absolutely that was a cause. Then it's the mentality of getting back, and it's fighting the do I deserve to be back to where I was? Now I physically feel pretty good. I'm serving well. I'm doing the things. My injury is not really causing me. It's not a hindrance anymore. But then it's the mentality of not competing for almost a full year. That is a scary jump for a player, and it's a painful jump. There's a lot of pain that you have to go through, a lot of suffering mentally and physically to get to where you needed to be, and he's been fighting that up and down throughout the season. He finally got there this last week, and he played some of the best tennis I've seen in his entire career this last week in practice.
How big have your seniors been this year from a leadership standpoint, helping you deal with all you have?
Huge. Without our seniors, this is not happening. Without our seniors, we may not have made the NCAA tournament. We had great expectations for this year. We had a huge goal of being one of the most prominent teams in the country. We had the lineup to do so. That went away, and you had two choices. You can either complain about it and whine on it, and everybody's going to give you this excuse and a pat on the back that it's okay. Things happen to you, and it's bad luck and all that. And they put the foot down and went forward, and they said, no, that's not what we're going to do. You know, we're going to fight for this because we're going to earn it. We're going to earn it, and we put in enough. We bled enough for this team. We bled enough for the school. It's like we're not going to go out on that note. We're going to make this happen. So, you know, look, good things are coming. I think, you know, if there's a team that can make something special happen, it's this team.